I left Egypt because I was not able to say what's on my mind. And I came here for the land of the free, the home of the brave, where you can say anything you want. And then suddenly, when you speak about certain things, you get accused of all things right, left, and center. If I'm criticizing Israel, why is this anti-Semitic? It's like when you criticize Saudi Arabia or Iran or Egypt, nobody calls you an Islamophobe, right?
It's fascinating. But what I'm hearing from you is a lot of thought you have had about what Israel is doing, what Zionism represents to you. What perhaps I hear less of is your thoughts about Hamas and how you, as now an Arab American, but as an Egyptian too, how you relate to the Islamism and the commitment to violence and the commitment to establishing a Palestinian Islamic entity from the sea to the River Jordan, how you make sense of that, and whether you have a critique of that too, which you want to express, or whether you don't feel able to express that.
No, I'm sorry.
You came to this country saying, you know what, I'm done with politics, I'm done with people's expectations that I can somehow deliver change, because I am, in the end, just a comedian.
An Egyptian comedian walks into Western media and flips the whole narrative. Bassem fires off dark humor and sharp truths, exposing how free speech isn't applied equally. Criticize Israel and you're branded anti-Semitic, but mocking Arabs is brushed off. He calls out Hollywood for canceling him, shreds Israel's shoot and cry narrative, and even flips the Hamas question back on the interviewer.
You can say anything you want, and then suddenly, when you speak about certain things, you get accused of all things right, left, and center. If I'm criticizing Israel, why is this anti-Semitic? It's like when you criticize Saudi Arabia or Iran or Egypt, nobody calls you an Islamophobe, right? But it's only Israel. It's like this kind of like, you feel all of this like victimization, all of this like guilt tripping. Israel is a government, is a country, and I don't know why as an American I can say whatever I want about Trump or Biden, and then I come to Israel and all of these like booby traps that you cannot go into. It is unfair, and it's against the freedom of expression, and that is against the promise that America and the West give the people to tell them to come to us.
But what you did, your approach to addressing this issue was fascinating, because, and let's name him, Piers Morgan, a British interviewer, colleague of mine in the media.
And he's very good at what he's doing.
Yeah, and what you did on his show was kind of subversive, because you went on an international TV show and using the darkest form of sort of satire and sarcasm that I can think of, you actually said, you know what, let them kill the Palestinians. They should even kill more. And you said, you know, I know Palestinians, my wife's family is Palestinian, it's impossible to kill them, but I keep trying. And there was this sort of edge of horrible sarcasm.
For anyone not familiar, Stephen Sackur was basically throwing shade at Bassem Youssef for how he mocked Israel's actions on the Piers Morgan show. He chuckled on camera, but when he called it dark, what he really meant was that he disapproved. In Stephen's eyes, Bassem went too far. But here's something to think about. Would it have been stronger if Bassem dropped the irony and just said it straight out? Israel's actions don't really call for sugarcoating or clever wordplay. Sometimes blunt honesty lands harder than satire. What do you think? Was the sarcasm enough, or would direct words have hit even deeper? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, because I was going there and I could be losing my career or losing... Actually, I lost stuff. Like after the Piers Morgan interview, I was cast to be in the movie Superman. And they talked to me about it, and I did my audition right before, one day before the strike, the SAG-AFTRA strike started. And then after the strike was released, I was in Australia, and then my agent said, like, oh, well, they changed the script, and we're not in the movie anymore. And it's like, it refers to a group of media and books and movies in the Israeli media when the soldiers talk about how sad they are for shooting people and shooting the enemy. We see that in American movies there. It's not about the thousands of people they killed, but it's all about the mental health of the soldiers who pulled the trigger. And that's why you tell, like, oh, we're killing civilians. It's unfortunate. What? Remember how many times did they bring up Dresden or Hiroshima? It's like, oh, you did it, so we can do it too. So what's next? They enslave Palestinians, so like, what do you enslave black people? This whole idea about guilt tripping you, so like, as long
it's fascinating. But what I'm hearing from you is a lot of thought you have had about what Israel is doing, what Zionism represents to you. What perhaps I hear less of is your thoughts about Hamas and how you, as now an Arab American, but as an Egyptian too, how you relate to the Islamism and the commitment to violence and the commitment to establishing a Palestinian Islamic entity from the sea to the River Jordan, how you make sense of that, and whether you have a critique of that too, which you want to express, or whether you don't feel able to express that.
No, I'm sorry. Did you say like an Islamic entity from the river to the sea? Did you say that?
I did.
But people who shouting from the river to the sea are not really Islamic. And they don't, and many of them don't even agree with Hamas. The river to the sea is a Palestinian chant, it's not an Islamic chant. That's number one. Number two, from the river to the sea is not coined by the Palestinians, it's coined by the Israelis. It's in the Likud party chart in 1977. They say from the sea to the Jordan, there are only going to be Israeli sovereignty. So they coined the thing before that. Second of all, when I criticize Israel, I criticize it because it's in a position of power. I'm absolutely no fan of Hamas. And you know from my history in Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood doesn't like me, and I don't like them either. I am against a theocracy, and I'm against like religion being in politics, and that's why I found it very hypocritical from Israel saying that we are a secular, democratic state, and at the same time just like we are a Jewish state. Where are you? Are you a theocracy or a democracy? Are you something like for the secular for everybody, or you just like or exclusively for the Jews? And so that's why is it like when the West talks about everything, it's liberal, secular, democratic. Only when it comes to Israel, it's biblical. Why? You know, that's the problem. Try to convince me that Israeli have more right in this land, more than Palestinian, without using religion. They can't. Because it's even that the liberal Zionists, they're all about, we're atheists, we don't believe in God. But it is God gave them to their promised people, promised land, promised by whom? Of chosen people. Chosen by whom? The God, my God, your God, whose God?
So what I get is that you came to this country saying, you know what, I'm done with politics, I'm done with people's expectations that I can somehow deliver change because I am in the end just a comedian. And here you sit today with doubtless many Arab Americans, but indeed many Arabs in the Arab world, and particularly many Palestinians, now seeing you as a hugely important voice giving expression to their anger, their feeling that the international media is unfair, feeling that their message never gets through. Are you now feeling uncomfortable again?
Very,
you've become a messenger?
I'm scared. I'm scared. And people will come, when people come to my shows, like if you're expecting that I'm going to talk about Israel and Hamas, no, I've been working on my hour for 5 years. There is not a single joke in my, if you come to my show expecting that I'm going to speak about Piers Morgan and Israel, no. I tell that because I'm a comedian.
I'm actually interested in this interface between comedy and the most difficult subjects. And right now, one of the most difficult subjects in the world is what's happening in Gaza.
Yes.
For you as a comedian, is it possible?
Notice how Stephen Sackur keeps hammering on the word comedian again and again when talking to Bassem Youssef. That repetition wasn't innocent. It was his way of trying to belittle Bassem, making it seem like his opinions don't carry weight just because he tells jokes for a living. The goal was clear: frame Bassem as someone the audience shouldn't take seriously. But the plan backfired. Instead of shrinking, Bassem pushed right back, mixing sharp humor with hard truths and exposing double standards in real time. By the end, the same host who tried to undermine him was mostly left without a response.
Comedy doesn't have to be insulting. But you are interested about the interface of comedy and politics, and I'll tell you why this is important. You know this whole thing about comedy in America, about PC, political, you cannot say this, you cannot joke about this. It's the same. Why can't we joke about what Israel is doing? And why is every joke or every criticism in Israel is like as if it's like an anti-Jewish sentiment? It is not. It is not. And this is the thing.
But I mean, it's interesting you say that, because on the one hand, I totally get it. As a comedian, you want to be free. You want to be free to address even the most difficult issues, because God knows, you know, the human experience does generate humor and laughs, however dark it may be. On the other hand, right now, we know, the figures suggest it's undeniable, that there's a spike in antisemitism in the United States, just as there is a spike in Islamophobia and attacks on Arab Americans. So I just wonder whether you as a comedian feel a responsibility to, you know, to tone it down, to find a language that isn't going to inflame, or do you have to ignore that?
No, here's the thing. People need to separate between criticism and comedy and between inciting for hate. You can make fun of Muslims right, left, and center. But there's difference between calling them they are terrorists, or this is different between comedy and real inciting terror. When I go out and I speak about the government, I can say whatever I want about the government because I say more about my government, right? You say more about your government. So, but it's the problem, the switch, because of course there's rise of anti-Semitism. I mean, I can never even imagine like a Jewish kid going to college and being shot in his spine because he spoke in Hebrew. Same way that happened to Hisham al-Awarta, like a Palestinian kid who was wearing kufiya and was shot because he was speaking in Arabic in Vermont, in Brown University. And there are Jewish kids who are locked in their dorms because they're afraid to go out.
I just have to say, for legal reasons, I mean, those cases you refer to are terrible, but they are still under investigation, court cases.
Under investigation, court cases, nothing is final, but it's happening.
I actually want to, before we end, bring it back to you living now with your family in Los Angeles, an American citizen, and some will watch this and will think, this is the guy who lives in a country which sends or is seeking to send another $16 billion worth of assistance, military and other assistance to Israel, on top of the $4 billion a year it already sends to Israel, and yet this man says that he is proud to be an American and he likes living in America.
Yes. I believe in the idea of America. America gave me that second chance. America was good to me. I am proud, and I want my kids to be raised as proud Egyptian Americans. I like America, the idea. What I don't like is American policies. What I don't like is the American government sabotaging this idea. So me, as an American, I want to have a say in changing how the discourse of an American politics would do, so I would be more proud. When people criticize...
Except you're the Bassem Youssef who, at the beginning of this interview, said to me, Stephen, I want to be really clear with you, I'm a comedian, I don't seek to change things.
Yes, but the thing is, like, when it happens is that I don't want to be... you can change things by comedy, not by activism. Meaning that I'm not going to run into, like, political rallies, I don't want to be part of this. But as an American, how do I feel when an American representative wears the whole uniform of the IDF? When my politicians that I vote to receive their money from special interest group, whether they're AIPAC or NRA, so suddenly my votes are gone to waste.
Looking back, everything Bassem said in that interview feels even more powerful now. He saw it coming, the way accusations of anti-Semitism get weaponized to shut down anyone who questions Israel. He exposed how quickly Western free speech falls apart the moment you stand with Palestine. During the debate, Stephen kept trying to shift the focus to Hamas, Islamism, anything but Israel's policies. But Bassem held his ground, breaking down what "from the river to the sea" really means and calling out the hypocrisy of preaching democracy while enforcing double standards. This wasn't just a comedian cracking jokes, it was someone putting his career on the line to speak truth on global television. So here's my question. How many more voices, whether comedians, artists, or activists, have to be silenced before we admit that truth itself isn't free anymore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.